Okay, we are now recording, so whatever you say will be held against you. Just kidding. So everybody who's on the call right now, Deena has been called away. She's on the phone with Tracy Britt Cool. They had an executive call this morning. So when Tracy says jump, you jump. So she will join us momentarily. But we were just kind of introducing each other. So Katie and Janet, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce your people who you know. Holly, can you still not hear? I've got Holly. Can you not hear us?
There's a lot of background noise. I wonder if we're not going to have to mute other people.
Okay. All right. So let me see if I can mute. Okay, I'm going to mute all. Okay, everybody, I just unmuted everybody because we got some background noise. And you are welcome to unmute yourself when you'd like to talk, just because we're recording right now. And it's just, if you're on the computer, it's on the bottom left-hand corner, and you can mute and unmute. All right. Katie and Janet, do you want to unmute yourselves? And then, let's see. Who do we got? Katie? Katie Wood, can you unmute yourself?
There we go.
Woohoo, there you are. Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself, Katie.
All right, I'm Katie Woods. I live in Montana. However, if you see me on my husband's iPad right now, I get on the road with him. We are in Wyoming. He installs ramps. So it's pretty cool that we've been on the road for 3 days now, and I've done my host coaching from the truck, and today we're putting ramps in. And anyway, so I'm a director, and I started Pampered Chef 5 years ago, and I joined because I wanted to pamper at my kitchen, and I stayed because I love my paycheck, and I like the trips and helping people get what I have gotten. So that is me.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. Nice to hear from you. Janet, can you unmute yourself and tell us about yourself?
Sure. I'm Janet Moffett, and I'm from Colorado. And I joined Pampered Chef about a little over 3 years ago. And kind of like Katie, I joined for the stuff. And for about a year, I just did a couple of shows a month, and then went to conference. That was, just eye-opening, life-changing, and decided when I saw those women walking across stage, and I thought, well, I can do that. And so I decided to kick it in gear. So I did promote to director just that November after conference. But I still wasn't doing a whole lot of shows. I was still doing maybe 3 or 4 a month. And I kept saying, oh, I want to do more, but there was always excuses and reasons why I didn't. So then last year, or I guess it was just earlier this year, when I was invited to the LEAD program, I felt like, okay, this is my opportunity to really to quit talking about it and actually start doing it. So the training was fantastic. The accountability, being required to do 8 shows a month. There was something about that, and knowing that there was 200 of us women working together, and men working together, having the same struggles, but really wanting to grow our business and learning from each other, and just accountability was fantastic. But the training, because there were things that I was not doing well, I wasn't doing right. And, of course, you can have your own style, you can have your own personality in your business, but there's definitely just some things that if you don't hostess coach properly, your show sales aren't going to be what they can be. So I learned a lot, and I think that this course that we're going to go through here, you're going to find as well that you're going to learn a lot that, maybe even you thought you knew, but you weren't doing it quite right. And just having that encouragement, accountability. And so, yeah, I was able to complete and graduate from LEAD and promoted to advanced director this summer. And now I've been invited into LEAD Plus. So super excited with what's happening with my business. Hi, Deena. She's back.
Hey, I am sorry. I was on the phone with Tracy Britt Cool, and I was actually advocating for a tracking system for booking and recruiting that actually is more effective. So I apologize profusely. I am ready for this call. I know a couple of people have introduced themselves. On this particular call, we really want to explore what people want in their business and how they can grow their business, and the difference between a dream and a goal and putting it on paper and breaking it into action steps. Very important to be specific. The next thing we wanted to do is we wanted to cover, and I know some of you were able to print out the career path worksheet, the skills assessment page, and the monthly goal tracker. And this is going to be our vehicle to help us stay on track. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
So the very first thing I want to do is have everybody introduce themselves and explain what their why in the business is. And we do have quite a few people on the call, so we need to be concise on this. I'm Deena Hiltbrand. I actually always loved cooking and all things. In the olden days, we called it home economics. But I love that Pampered Chef teaches people how to entertain and how to cook. And so my why is I still love the products and I still love the recipes, cooking shows, and helping people. Over the years, I've been able to achieve many of my personal and financial goals, and my why has shifted a little bit. But basically, I haven't been helping as many people as I like to be successful. And so this call is to help my directors get strong and develop strong teams, and to teach people how to achieve their goals and to coach them along the way. And so I just want to learn to be a better coach and support and connect with people. Hi, Kathy. Okay, so who's going to go first on sharing your why? And specific, I need to make $600 to get a new washing machine. Whatever it is, I knew that I wanted help when my kids were little with laundry and keeping the house. And I didn't get a lot of gratification out of cleaning. So I know back in the day, one of the things is I wanted to afford a housekeeper, and my husband didn't understand why I would go work to get out of working. But it was different. It made sense to me. So try to be specific. You can pull it from your career path worksheet where it says, here's my why, here are my promotion dates. And so I don't want to call on people. I want people to volunteer, but I will call on people if we need to. Okay, and that was too long, but I wanted to give you different ideas.
I kind of introduced myself a minute ago. I'm Janet Moffett from Colorado, from Pueblo West. But, and just thinking about my why, that's something I've thought about for a long time now, because a lot of it, you start because you want the stuff in the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. But right now, where I am in my life, I've been a stay-at-home mom for over 25 years. And, my why is I want a career. I want to have a successful business and have a career. And I'm at the point in my life with my children that's possible. I have the support of my family and friends. And so I guess that's really, that's my why, is I want to be an executive with Pampered Chef. I want to have a very, very successful business and career.
Awesome. And Janet, have you put any dates to that?
I plan on promoting to senior director by December 31st of this year, and to executive by the following, I'd love to say conference, by the following conference, excuse me, but I think realistically it's probably by the following December.
Okay, perfect. I love the fact that you are concentrating on the next step, but you have an overall picture of where you're going. That's really important. We talked a little bit about that last night in our meetings. even as a new consultant, understanding what the career plan is, the income possibilities are, but knowing what your very next step is and what your goal is and putting a date to that. Fantastic. Okay, who's next?
So I want to go really quick because I know one of my girls can't talk right now. She is listening, but I want to say what she texted to everybody and then mute myself because my husband's unloading the ramp, so it's going to get loud. So she said, this is from Kelly, and she said, I can't speak right now. My why is my why started with wanting to make $700 a month for car payments, but I love Pampered Chef and would like to make this a career and replace my current income. I want to go big, go executive, is what she said.
Okay, and that's Kelly.
Kelly.
Awesome. And Kelly, I'd love to have you add some dates to that. You know, what's your next step on the road to executive, and find a date to that. So one thing I learned about the LEAD program is they practice tough love, and they pushed you, you know, and really said, hey, here's the step to that. And so on this call, it's not that I want to be bossy or anything, but I don't want you to miss one of the important steps, and that's putting action steps into place and putting a timeline with those. Things that are measurable, am I on track? Okay, so who's next? Who wants to share their why and their goal?
I'll go. My name's Sarah Moe. I'm from California, and I started the business because I loved the products, and it was really hard for me to find work in the county I live in. It's the poorest in California, actually, and so I wanted to stay home, and now I'm wanting to do this so I can be a stay-at-home mom. I have a 15-month-old, and I'm pregnant with my second. And my goal has been to bring home about $1,000 to $2,000 a month and earn incentive trips. And I'm not quite there yet, but I want to get there.
Okay. All right. So again, Sarah, when you do your worksheet and stuff, I'd love for you to share how many shows that is a month to earn that income. And also, you know, how many people you want to recruit in a month or a quarter, and, you know, what that next level that you're working towards is, and what the date for that is.
Yeah, so I'd like to do monthly sales of about 4,000 to 5,000 if I can.
Okay.
And you know, my goal would be 6 to 8 shows, but my life right now is pretty hard. My husband's going to be starting school, and he's working full time, and so I'm going to kind of have to run everything at home, and so
yeah, you know,
having
a clear-cut why really, really helps. I don't know if Janet told you, but she has 13 children, and she homeschooled them all. And so I think when you do have that burning desire and that clear vision, the people on this call can tell you how to do it and when to do it without sacrificing the truly important things with our family. I think one of the biggest things that happens when you go to conference is you see all different walks of life, and you hear the backstories of how much stuff people have going on, and what people who are really desirous of accomplishing something can achieve when they want it, you know, and their why is big enough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love the fact you're pregnant. I signed my contract when I was pregnant with my third child, and was able to do it pregnant as with a newborn. And my business is 24 years old, and he is 24 years old. So kind of cool. All right. Thanks, Sarah, for sharing. And Sarah's on Jane Lair's group. Who's next?
I think I'll take it next. This is Jessica Wyatt, and I'm in Louisiana, and I am under Karen Chisholm. My why is that I love cooking, and it was something that I thought I would be really good at. So my long-term goal is to get rid of my day job And so that's what I'm striving for. And since you like the dates and you like the short-term goals along the way, the first step in that, because I really want to build a solid foundation with this business, my first step is by December, I want to, on a regular basis, have 8 shows a month at least, and be bringing home enough to make a car payment for a new car.
Okay. Yeah, if you're doing 6 to 8 shows a month, it'll be a nice car, Jessica.
I have 3 kids. I would like a nice new minivan, brand new off the lot. So that's what my goal is.
Okay. All right. Who is, and thank you for the dates and specific. Who's next?
Deena, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh.
Kathy.
Okay. Well, when I filled out my paperwork, my why was to pay off debt, including house and our truck. Our credit cards basically are under control. I'm been in the business 18 years. I should know how to do this, but I just have constantly struggled with a constant show schedule. So now I'm trying to kick this back into gear. And my goal is to get 4 shows a month, and I'm trying to work up to that. I think my monthly earnings, I'd like to be around $800. So I'm thinking 4 shows a month should accomplish that.
Okay. That sounds good, Kathy. And when do you think you can do it by?
Well, my goal is to kind of work up to it by the 1st of next year.
Okay, by January. All right, got it. Thank you. And thank you for sharing, Kathy. I know that this is a first for you.
Yeah, there was trouble getting sound, and I switched from my computer, from my laptop to my tablet, which I just got new, and it's working better.
Yes, technology.
Technology and me are, I guess I'm old, but it's kind of a slow process.
Okay, so is there somebody on the call who wants to develop other people on their team and maybe get back to director, or just kind of, we have different levels. So far we've had people sharing show goals. Are there any recruiting goals or any developing leader goals? Just so that, like, I already just got a message from somebody saying, this doesn't sound like it's what I need, but we're going to have all different levels of, interest here. So if somebody else, I think, Janet, you kind of shared that you're interested in that. So
I can share my goals too. I want to develop leaders. I want to help people get what we've gotten as far as the trips and as far as the paycheck goes too, because we're not a pay for our own vacation kind of family. We have different goals as to what we're spending our money on. So I really, really want to develop leaders. I want to be senior director by next conference, and so that's developing leaders and helping people get what they want out of it.
okay, so Katie, that's great. Another thing that came up is, are all of the calls going to be about this, kind of why and goal setting and skills assessment? No. The next 7 calls, or at least the middle 6 calls, will be on technique and how to do successful training, how to do successful shows. And it's going to be the nuts and bolts of vendor events, things like that. So just so you know, I used to say I loved Pampered Chef because when I went to a training meeting, I learned how to sell and make recipes, which helped me in my business instead of standing on a chair and going rah, rah, rah. That said, there is a very important point of learning who's on the group and, putting it out there what your why is. So,
Hey, Deena.
yes.
This is Karen. My phone's about to die, and I'm in kindergarten testing with my son. But I did want to share that I also want to develop leaders and help, and actually even recruit more myself. So, and one of my goals, of course, is to be, national is my overall long-term goal. But I do want to be senior director. Definitely, if not my next conference, by the following conference. So, or at least following December. So, by December of 2017, definitely. That's my goal. So if my phone dies, I will catch up the rest of the call after.
You know, as far as these things and what the reasons we're here, yes, I definitely want to develop leaders. And the reason is I know what this has done for me, you know, in just my own personal growth, just being a better person, having the focus not just be on me and how much I'm selling and what I'm achieving. And I love competition. I love to, you know, walk across that stage. But knowing that there's so many of us, if you listen to these, there's a brand new mom or expecting mom, there's you know, are older and their children are young. And no matter what walk of life you're in, this business can fit your needs. But we need to really achieve those goals. These worksheets are so important because you need to know where you are right now. You need to see how many shows am I doing, how many people are attending my shows, how many bookings am I getting from my shows, what are my sales, how much recruit interest am I getting. And when you see it on paper, I'm a real paper person, but when you see it and you can and over the last couple of months and see, okay, this is where I am right now, but I want to be here. This will show you what you need to really focus on. And I know when I was in the lead program, I realized, and I'm still working on this, my hostess coaching is not what it should be. And when I can listen to others that are doing the same thing, that are being successful, and hear what are they doing to coach their hosts. I may not do it exactly like they are because I have a different style or personality, but I realize they're successful. So I need to do some of the things, if not all, of what they're doing. If I see, okay, you know what, I haven't recruited in 2 months. Why not? I'm not focused on that. I'm not talking enough about it. I'm not sharing enough. Maybe it's just I'm not listening to the customers that are at the show and find out what their needs are. You know, just getting to know who is in your at your home shows or your Facebook parties, whatever you're doing. That personal one-on-one is so important. I mean, when I first start my shows, you know, even if I'm starting a few minutes late, but I'm interacting with my guests, with my customers, and asking them, hey, how was your day? Did you just get off work? How are the kids? You know, and find out where they are. That's what I love about this business, and that's why, you know, I love to see the, you know, the growth. And I can, you know, see that mom who, you know, she just got off work, she ran home, tried to throw something in the oven for the kiddos and get them set up with dad so she could have a few hours away. I can start to see how, you know, perhaps I could help her. But put it on paper and seeing where I'm at with my business and where I want to be really, really helps me to sharpen that focus.
Okay, I think that's true. So, all right, the next call we are going to have will be led by Karen Chisholm, and it's going to be prospecting out and about and how to pamper a business. And, you know, she's got some unique ideas and things that she's been doing that have been successful for getting sales and getting new leads out of your friends and family circle. And again, you won't have to do it exactly like Karen does, but she adds some unique perspective to it. So each call that we have is going to actually give you the words like Janet said. Maybe you need to learn to be more consistent. And one of the leaders on this call is going to, you know, share how they became more consistent, or how you can do a better job hostess coaching, and what are the successful people doing that are hostess coaching. I know Connie Floor on our 4th call is going to be teaching how she hostess coaches. So I think that you just need to be aware. But I really do want, is Sam on the call, Samantha on the call? I don't know if Samantha's a place where she could unmute, but maybe she could share her goals as well and her why. She's driving. Hopefully she has a hands-free. Michelle, are you on the call, Marston? I think we have a lot of people muting. Okay. Has everybody shared that's on the call they can?
And remember to unmute yourself. It's *6.
Yes, *6 to mute and *6 to unmute.
This is Sam. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I I thought I was unmuted, but I wasn't.
Okay.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Sam.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sorry. So my why, I've been doing this 6 years, and actually next month is my 6th year. And I started out to help my youngest brother through college with his freshman year. He had a full ride scholarship, but we needed to cover the meal plan, which is like $500 a month. And so that's my original why, and it has changed significantly through the years, as has my business. It went, all the way to director, and I've kind of gone back and forth, up and down for the last several years. But I love the company. I love the product. I love the people. I love everything about it. And I'm just determined to get back to that place where I can, be at least a director, if not more. And I do want to recruit. I haven't recruited in a very long time. I'm not exactly sure why, because for a while I was just going gangbusters, and I'm doing everything the same, but maybe that's the problem. And I've had a lot of life changes and turmoil and things that have kept me from focusing like I should. So I'm ready to I'm at a place where I feel like I can commit again to really diving deep and doing what I need to do to take those steps.
Okay, and I know some of you are having trouble unmuting. If you go down below, you'll see a microphone on the far left-hand side. If there's a slash through it and it is blue, it is muted. You need to go over there and unclick it to open it. It should be green if it is live. If you're in listen-only mode, I believe it's *6, but if you are watching this through Zoom, then you need to go to the microphone. The bar kind of disappears. You have to kind of put your cursor down below. Okay, so Connie's on the call and having a hard time unmuting, and the *6 isn't working. *6 is for myconference.com or something like that. It's not for Zoom. So we'll figure out what the phone unmuting is.
I don't know if you all can see the chat part, but Michelle, I'm just going to read hers too. She said, she's sorry, I've got tons going on in my house right now and I can't get to a quiet spot. And we all know what that's like. She said, my why is that I want to help with our family income so eventually my husband can just ranch instead of work a full-time job that he does not enjoy. I also need this to build my own leadership skills and would love to become an advanced director by next conference.
Okay, all right, so measurable, what she needs to do, you know, so strengthening the team. I know that Michelle signed somebody last night at our meeting, so she understands growing her team. And, you know, one of the things that we're gonna work on is how to support new team members and how to train new team members. So again, that's gonna be part of one of the calls. Okay. I see a lot of phone numbers that don't have names next to them. An 801 number, I think that might be Dana Keen. And she has little kids underfoot too, so it might be loud. Okay, I think I heard her. She's quiet. A 402 number. Maybe that's Connie. A 591 number. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna assume that you'll either write them in our Facebook page or on the chat feature, and we are gonna move on to the skills assessment and the career path worksheet and planning your month. So one of the first things you want to do is you actually want to do the analyzing part. Janet said she found out that she wasn't doing as good a job as she could on host coaching. And she looked at the numbers of how many people were attending her shows and, you know, and what she was doing with the hostesses and stuff. And so the skill assessment sheet, it's a 2-page document. And basically the premise is, in this company, either you don't know how to do something, which is a skill, and so you want training on it, and you want to learn new tips and new techniques, and you want to hear from different people than maybe your upline. So instead of me, talking all the time, you're going to have the opportunity to hear from each other, and from the different leaders of the call each time. So that is the skill part of it. And then another part is the will. Janet might actually know how to host coach, but finding the time, scheduling it, creating a system might be part of the will part of it. And so one of the things when we do an analyzation of what's going on, is it that we don't know how to do it, or we're not doing it consistently?
Yeah, Deena, I think that's so important, because when I was just doing 2 or 3 shows a month, it's really not such a big deal. But if you want to increase your business, and when I hear the goals that we're setting, you're going to need or want to do 6, 8, 10 shows a month. If you don't have, like Deena said, if you don't have a system in place that you can do easily and is duplicatable to those that you're going to be recruiting, that's where I got bunched up. Is okay, wow, I was okay with 2 or 3 shows, but all of a sudden I'm doing 8 shows a month, which I absolutely love, but I was letting things drop through the cracks because I didn't have a good system in place.
So, one of the things is that you have to be honest. Do I know how to do this? Do I believe in other people? One of the things that I find is that a lot of times people will recruit, and then that consultant that they recruited disappoints them, and then they don't want to do it again. Or they try to host coach, and maybe they have a stubborn hostess that doesn't, want to be coached. And so sometimes just changing the words and saying, let me practice on you, or realizing that a certain percentage of new consultants are not going to do anything, and it wasn't anything you did wrong or that you didn't do or did do. It's just a percentage game. And unfortunately, sometimes we get the turkeys, for lack of a better word, at the beginning as opposed to in the middle or at the end. And so to have that kind of perspective. So, basically you want to look at different parts of your own skill assessment. What is your belief in the product? What is your belief in yourself? A lot of times, people don't have the confidence that they need. They want to become a better leader, but honestly, they've never done anything like this before. And so maybe it's because they haven't done it before that they don't have a strong belief that they can. Or maybe they have somebody in their life telling them that they can't. And they haven't had that inner voice or even somebody in their corner that says you can. And so that's really important. And then also, do you believe that other people can do it? I know a lot of the leaders on my team are so confident, and I respect their abilities so much. But they have a God-given talent on organization or a God-given talent on consistency. And so they might not necessarily know how to teach it because it is innate to them. It's something that they do automatically. And so having a system that you can teach is very important. So then also having the ability, sometimes you just don't understand why other people can't do what you do. And how do you learn to believe in other people? And how do you see what their strengths are? And how do you coach them with those strengths? So this is really important to understand how belief in people is important. And then, of course, there's the mechanics of prospecting. At your shows, away from your shows, and following up on the prospecting that you do. How do you close the booking? How do you get it on the calendar? How do you teach somebody on your team to date the show at the show? How do you learn that skill yourself? Host coaching. As I said, Connie on our 4th call is going to show her system that she uses and share the words that she has. Then also, at your show, how do you inform? There's a trend to make our shows shorter and shorter, but how do we get in the really important things at our shows? Invite. How do we invite people to be part of our business? How do we invite people? Sometimes for a new consultant, just having somebody say to them, can I take a catalog home and look at this and get back to you? 15 other people take the catalog home and you're sitting there and you don't get any orders at the show. And then it's very difficult to get the orders. How do you learn to set the expectation that almost everybody will order right then and there? What do you do if your show is sabotaged? So inviting isn't just about inviting people to do the business or inviting people to do more with their own businesses or inviting them to leadership. A lot of times inviting is setting the tone for the expectations that people will book or that people will order right then, and what those words are that effective consultants use at their shows. So again, we need to analyze, do you have the majority of the people taking their catalogs home? And if so, is it something you're saying? Is it something a guest is saying and you don't know how to react to it? So we want to handle those kinds of things too. Next one is, training. And how do you get a new consultant off to a strong start? Or how does a experienced consultant who's not getting the results that they want, how do they take the new consultant material and retool their business? So that's an evaluation you really need to do as well. So, those are kind of the basics. We have different leaders for each call, and, you're going to learn from other people. So that's important. We also have a tracking sheet, a monthly tracking sheet that is going to help you with those evaluations. Who took home information? How many interviews were set? Basically, if you're not taking recruiting material or you don't know what you're going to hand out at your show, you're not setting the expectation that people are going to take information home with them. And so how to do that. So, again, there's going to be some evaluation stuff. There is going to be some homework. But the homework is going to be, I'm going to make so many booking calls this week. And then you need to commit and set the number of calls that you're going to make. Are you going to use a Go for the No program and get 100 no's this week? Or are you just going to do 3, 2, 1 and call 3 people 5 days a week? So that 15 calls. So, we're going to have people who want to be rockets and they're going to set big goals. And, the important thing is you set a goal that scares you a little bit, but you achieve it. So for those of you who want to have 4 shows a month, how are you going to get those shows on the calendar? Well, you're going to be making some phone calls. How many calls does it take to do that? Are you the kind of person that is just going to keep calling until you absolutely have nobody else to call and we're going to give you more ideas on who to call? Or are you going to just keep calling until you have your 4 shows for that month, and you have that calendar filled? So I really want this to be a one size fits all because you can personalize it, not me dictating you have to do this. I expect everybody to make 30 phone calls this week, kind of thing. So that said, that is our first goal, is to do some evaluations on what you need in the business. So that the leaders can do a better job, I would like you to now share what you want to get out of this call. And somebody opted out before they ever got to this point where they got to tell us as leaders what they needed. So this is really important for you to speak up and say what you need. I know with myself personally, I have pretty good skills. I need to be more consistent. I need to be more relatable, and I need to build better relationships with my hostesses, with my guests, with my consultants, with my leaders. I need to build better relationships. So what I'm looking at getting out of these calls is to be a better leader and to help strengthen others by being more consistent. So
Michelle wrote on hers that she's looking forward to learning how to support new team members. And I know when I was really building my business with Lead, I was very focused on my own personal sales and recruiting, but supporting the new team members was where I really needed the work, training as well. So I'm right there with Michelle is, okay, we're getting our businesses where they need to be our personal business, but to be able to have the balance and support our new team members as we're at is very important.
Okay, so we will ask the leaders on this team to be able to cover that topic. But if for some reason we don't feel like we have an expert, I will ask Barbara Duke or Beth Jacobs or Love Carpenter or Marna Ross or Judy Siegel, somebody that I know is really good with their systems, to teach that. And I will also share the new consultant training handbook. And, I will commit to making a copy for everybody on this team and mailing it out to you, because I want you to have that in the mail. And I want you to have it in your hands so that you can use it and we can break it down. So Janet and Michelle, thank you. Who else has something they want to get out of this call?
I do. I would like to have help overcoming obstacles. I think some of my biggest obstacles have been when I recruit people, I'm not getting, recruits that are really wanting to be super active. They're maybe wanting to submit a show once every 6 months, or, and just knowing how to help those kind of leads.
Is this Sarah? Is Sarah Moe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Overcoming obstacles.
And then personal obstacle, like when you have a spouse who isn't fully supporting you on your business, like those kind of things.
Yeah, I don't always have a super supportive spouse. It's just not in his nature. He likes to give reality checks. I don't need a reality check. I like to live in my dream world because then I make things happen, but
Right.
to him, the way that he does things is almost like a fear factor of what could go wrong, and that motivates him. And so it works for him, but I don't want to hear it because it doesn't work for me. And so finding a different support system or just being true to who I am. And so we can cover that too. So support systems. It's real. And some people are more affected by this than others,
Wants to some support.
Okay, so all right. I'm figuring out, okay. Okay, so Holly's not having any sound. Holly, have you gotten the sound to work?
I just called in. I'm still on the Zoom, but I can't figure out the voice thing on Zoom, so I just called in.
Okay, all right. Sometimes you have the sound turned off on your computer. There is a little.
I tried that. It's up to 100%. Like my sound is on. I just can't hear any of you on the Zoom thing. So I'm watching you all, but I'm on the phone.
Okay, well that works too. So Holly, what would you like to get out of this call?
My whole thing is I want to learn how to train my team, kind of like some of you other ladies said the same thing. I want to train them to do better because I do have like 5 people on my team, but only like 1 or 2 of them are actually turning in shows. So how do I train them to better their own business as well?
Okay. So Holly, one of the things that Barbara Duke taught me over the years is to say, if I had a pocket full of bookings and a magic wand and I could give them to you, how many bookings would you do in the next 2 weeks? And then you have to learn to be still and be quiet because what they say next is really interesting. Some of them are going to say 4. And some of them are going to say, well, in the next 2 weeks, I can only do 1. Or I'm really busy right now, and maybe they have time management problems where they don't know how to run a business alongside their family. But a lot of times, the reason why people don't have bookings is that they don't really want them. So asking them that question, if I had a pocket full of bookings and a magic wand, how many bookings would you take? And then of course you don't have bookings to give away. But
of course.
what you want to find out is that they would do 2 shows. And you just say, okay, let's brainstorm on how we can get 2 shows on your calendar right now. Let's schedule a virtual show. Let's have a in and out show where you borrow my new products and you show what's coming in and do your own party and try to get people excited. Because most people don't understand the reason why people book. They think that people book for free. In reality, people book for fun. And they have to remember how much fun it is to have a show and what the advantages are and that their friends are going to have a good time before you're going to get them to back you, before you're going to get them to put their social standing on the line and invite people to come to their home and see if people So yeah, we definitely need to do the training, but we also need to evaluate why your team doesn't have bookings. Is it because they don't want to have bookings, or they don't need bookings, or they don't have a tracking system for the leads they're getting? They don't know how important it is to follow up in 48 hours. They don't know how to host coach, and so they lose their show. Okay. Yeah. Dana Keene has a comment.
I would like to get effective time ideas, fast and effective. I'm referring to management of time outside of the shows.
Okay, so management, time management, how to do things quickly. You know, maybe you can conference call 3 hostesses at one time. Maybe you're training your new consultants on the way to your show. Different things that are effective time management uses. And again, I know Connie and Janet are especially good at the time management. And sometimes it's learning what to say no to and what to say yes to.
And sometimes it's just looking at your schedule, your calendar, and really looking at it hour by hour. And maybe keep track of it for a week or so and see, what am I doing with my time? Are there some specific time wasters that you don't even realize how much time that you're spending in a certain area? You know, maybe you've got scheduled, okay, I'm going to do some host coaching calls from 10 to 11 in the morning. And so at 10 o'clock, you go to your office and you're, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to get a cup of coffee. So you go to the kitchen to get your coffee and you see dirty dishes in the sink. So then you start, you know, well, I need to clean up these dishes. And so then you start doing that and you realize, oh, my, you know, I need to get a clean dishcloth, and you run to do that and you realize, oh, I better throw this load of laundry in. And then the kid, I mean, this is my life. I understand this. And I realized, you know, it's 11 o'clock. I didn't make one single call. Now you got things accomplished, but it wasn't what you wanted when you wanted to get it done. So that's just kind of taking control of your calendar in your personal life, which definitely affects your business life. If you schedule from 10 to 11, you are only going to talk to your hostesses or do customer care calls. Don't let anything interrupt that. Let your family know this is what I'm going to do. And choose a time that's going to work for them. Don't worry if you're a mom. You're not a bad mom if you turn on a video for an hour. It's okay. You give yourself permission to do that. From this time to this time, not all the time, but set specific times. Your family, your children, and even your husband will start to realize and appreciate that schedule, knowing, okay, from 10 to 11, she's going to do this, but that means at 11, she's done and she can cook lunch and we can have a nice lunch, or whatever works for your family.
It's kind of the power hour concept, you know,
Right.
Very focused, you know, on getting something done. So,
Yeah.
so time management. Connie Farr says that she wants to lead a team who wants more and who do shows consistently and recruiting. And so it's that team culture. You know, how do you foster a team culture of people who do more? You know, how do you get people to dream? How do you make a dream board? How do you get people to see where they could go with this if they wanted to? You know, so you know, that team culture and you know, getting people to want more, and also knowing that you're going to have 20% of your team doing 80%, and you're going to have 80% of your team doing 20%. And not, you know, thinking that you're a bad director. Just get out there and recruit as many people as you want, so that, I mean, as you can, so that you increase your odds of getting that next person who wants more. You know, it really is a numbers game, but it's also having fun together and learning what people want so that you can help them get it. Okay, do we have anybody else who has something that they want to get out of this?
Can you hear me? This is Sam.
Okay, hi Sam.
Hi. Yes, I just feel like after 6 years, I need like a revamp, or maybe I'm not doing things the best way, you know, for this time in my life or for this time in society, because I have gotten just so many flaky people, and it kind of dated me a little bit, because I got so many people that say I want to have parties, and then we book them and I host them, and I do all the things, and then they cancel, or they flake, or they say, oh, I only got 2 people to come, and I feel like there's so much hand-holding that has to happen, and I don't necessarily have the time to hand-hold them, so maybe I could do something better or more efficient to not have to hand-hold them.
Okay. Well, again, you know, Connie successfully has multiple $1,000 shows every month that are well attended. And so we're going to listen to one of the top 5 people in the company on how she, And every area is a little bit different, so you have to tweak it to your area. But basically, success breeds success. When a hostess books from a successful show, she has a vision of where she can go with it. And so trying to get that ball rolling where they see the example. And a lot of times, you know, like the attitude example is going to start with us. And how do we have the right attitude? And how do we share it in a positive, fun way that people want what we have? You know, I've had this incredible life because, you know, of some of the blessings of our Pampered Chef business that has allowed me to do amazing things with my children and not have regrets. And so, you know, I definitely want that for other people. But how do I share that with people in a non-bragging way? How do I get them to see the vision of that? So just really, really quickly, we're going to be finishing the skills assessment and our goals and our why and our monthly thing, but we're going to commit right now to how many phone calls you're going to make. So again, you can just type them on our Facebook page, or people can say them right now. I do need to let you know that I'm taking my mom on a trip for the next 2 weeks. I'll be back on the 25th. But as I said, Karen Chisholm's going to be leading our next call on getting bookings out and about and prospecting away from shows. Because there's two kinds of bookings. There's bookings from bookings at your shows, and then there's bookings from zero zip, knotted zilch. And how do you pull those out of the air? So, you know, Karen's going to talk about the latter. So how many calls are you going to make?
I'm going to make at least 3 a day.
Okay. Was that Holly?
That's Sarah.
Okay, Sarah, 3 a day.
I'll second that. This is Sam.
Sam, 3 a day.
This is Kathy. I'm going to try to go for that also.
You're going to go for that. Okay. All right.
I think that's a good goal. 3 a day, 15 for the week.
Okay, 15 for the week. So we have people going with the 3-2-1 model. Do we have anybody who's a high achiever who's going to do more than 15 calls this week? That wants it faster, so they're. Okay, Jana Keen's in for the 3 a day.
You know, I think when I say that, that's for my customers, but my goal this week also is to reach out to every one of my team members and have a conversation about their business, where it is right now. Are they happy with that? What they'd like to see. So actually my goal for the week is also, you know, the 3 customers a day, but to reach out to each team member by Saturday.
Okay. Awesome goal. Okay. So if you haven't said your call goal out loud, you know, please type it on our Facebook page. And, you know, you want to really have your homework done by next week. You want to know what your why is. Karen, do you have any pre-work they need to do before your call next week?
I think she might have had to hang up.
She had a battery issue.
Yeah.
But Karen will check and see, you know, who accomplished their goals.
We can post these on our Facebook page, right? I think that's a really great tool to be able to interact and talk to each other through the Facebook page.
I made my 3 phone calls today. Type it in there. I achieved my 15 phone calls. I did them all in one day because I got on a roll. You know,
somebody mentioned objections. You know,
what your results are. You know, and one of the things is, if you have a skill issue, you don't know what to say on the calls, you don't know how to make the calls effective, you know, give me a call today and I will try to show you how to entice on a call to make that call effective, or call your upline who's supporting you and ask you to be part of this call. Sarah and Sam, I know one of the things that Jane Lair does best is get people to book the shows. And maybe you could 3-way with her when she's doing her booking calls. I know that on Sunday nights, she likes to take a half an hour and make booking calls, or she has in the past. Maybe you could listen in on what she says.
Sure.
Okay?
That sounds great. And I
Yeah.
actually need to go. I have an appointment I need to go
Okay.
to. So
I have to go too. So thank you for your time today. We are going to get to the nuts and the bolts of the how-to and the trends and the things that are currently working for other people. So I look forward to talking to everybody. I will be checking in by email and Facebook. So do your homework.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.